The Detroit Lions injury report for Week 9 versus the Green Bay Packers is here, along with the roster moves, and the injury report is a hefty list, and so is the roster moves. Now, I'm going to give you all a fair warning right now. If I feel tired during this video, or I don't feel like as hyped as I usually am, that's because I'm recording this video at midnight, exactly midnight right now, so that is why. So starting off with the injury report like we always do. We're also going to be starting something new where I will be giving my 48 game day roster predictions. So I will be listing my 5 people who will be a healthy scratch. We're going to start that while in these videos as well. So starting with the injury report here for the Packers, Broderick Martin, his 21-day window opened this week. He should be back sometime later this year. So Broderick Martin knee has been ruled out, which is interesting. Josh Pascal, illness has been ruled out. That's unfortunate. Dan Campbell said last week he expected him to be back for this game. Unfortunately, he is not. He will be back next week, hopefully, Dan Campbell believes. By the way, on Broderick Martin, there is a possibility where he is not even activated off injured reserve because Dan Campbell brought up in his press conference that if he's going to be involved enough, if he's already better than the players that we got at the defensive tackle position on the 53-man and practice squad. So there's a chance he doesn't even get activated, but you never know. Josh Pascal's been ruled out. That's unfortunate. There's a number 1 edge rusher for this game out once again. Malcolm Rodriguez, ankle out, tweaked it during the Titans game. It looked pretty bad from he got carted off. He should be fine, though. Dan Campbell says should be back next week. So that's good to see. We expected that anyway. And the other 2 right here is Sione Vaki, knee doubtful. Mekhi Wingo, ankle doubtful. However, they have since then put out a game status update. And this is it. Lions game status update. Defensive tackle Mekhi Wingo, ankle, and Sione Vaki, knee, have been downgraded to out for Sunday's game at Green Bay and will not travel with the team. So we have 5 players inactive versus the Packers. I will list them once again. Broderick Martin, Josh Pascal, Malcolm Rodriguez, Sione Vaki, and Mekhi Wingo. These are the players that are ruled out for this game. Now let's go over the roster moves because it's a hefty list. Detroit Lions have announced some roster moves. Lions announced roster moves. Released tight end Parker Hesse. Signed linebacker Abraham Beauplan and defensive lineman Chris Smith to the 53-man roster. And elevated tight end Shane Zylstra and defensive end Al-Quadin Muhammad from the practice squad to the active and inactive list. So 4 new guys that was on the practice squad will be playing in this upcoming game. Beauplan, Smith, Zylstra, and Muhammad. And Parker Hesse is no longer a Detroit Lion. However, I do expect him to be brought on the practice squad as we now have 2 spots open on the practice squad with Beauplan and Smith getting signed to the 53-man roster. So I believe one of those spots will be for Parker Hesse. And we did have 1 spot left open on the 53-man roster. So with that, with signing Beauplan and Chris Smith, Beauplan took up the final spot, and then Smith took up an extra spot, which we had to release Parker Hesse in the case scenario. And I said last week, once I saw Parker Hesse got healthy scratched again and Zylstra was elevated once again, I expected Parker Hesse to potentially get released this week, which he is. I believe shockingly enough, we're deep into the season, I believe he is the first Detroit Lions player to be released from the 53-man roster this year, which is absolutely crazy that we are heading into Week 9, and that is the first player that has been released that was on the 53-man roster the whole season. So that is absolutely crazy. By the way, with Shane Zylstra, this is his 3rd and final elevation, so he will have to be released after this game or signed to the 53-man roster. If he is not signed to the 53-man roster, he has to be released or he has to be waived. If he goes through waivers, he can return to the practice squad, and we just can keep repeating the process, elevating him for 3 games, doing the same thing. However, I do expect him to get signed to the 53-man roster if he does something this game. And moving on to my 48 game day roster. Now I have to think of somebody on the fly here because I accidentally messed up on the count. Here I put one under. I have to think of one more guy here to put on here. My 48 game day roster inactives are Lauren Strickland, just because he's been inactive for the past couple weeks, and we have 53 guys playing this week. Or we have 53 people on the roster, and 4 of them inactive because you're not counting Martin because he didn't count to the team yet, and 4 of them are playing this game from the practice squad. So we have to have 5 people inactive. Lauren Strickland's one of them for that reason, not because he's a bad player, he's good on special teams, but because of that reason. Colby Sorsdahl, just because he's terrible, and also he's not going to play, obviously, if he's active anyway. Giovanni Manu has been active every game this season, has not played once yet this season. Don't expect him to at all. He's a developmental piece like Broderick Martin. And Michael Neese I believe this will be his first inactive game of the season, as Christian Mahogany will be making his debut. Now, there is a chance they decide to have Mahogany as a healthy scratch over Michael Neese, because Michael Neese can play center and guard. Mahogany can't. But Mahogany is just the better player, and he has better potential. So if, heaven forbid, Zeitler or Glasgow was to go down, then I do think Mahogany or Olosika can step in and be a better player than Michael Neese. So, and now the final player I'm thinking of on the fly here, who will be inactive. It's really tough. I can't believe I messed up the calculations. You can tell I'm tired. I think the last player that won't play this game will probably be... Oh, that's tough. That's really tough. I'm going to say Beauplan. I don't think Beauplan plays this week. I don't really see the purpose need to. So even though he got signed to the 53-man roster, I'm going to say Beauplan is also inactive. I just can't think of anybody else that makes sense to not play. Dorsey, he's never on defense, but he's a great special teamer. He'd be our kick returner. Isaiah Williams will for sure play because Williams is suspended for one more game, and he will be our kick returner probably with Sione Vaki being out this week. So I would say Beauplan, even though he just got signed to 53-man roster, I think Beauplan will be inactive this game. So my 5 inactives for the Detroit Lions this week is Lauren Strickland, Colby Sorsdahl, Giovanni Manu, and Michael Neese, as well as Abraham Beauplan, who just got signed to 53-man roster today. So leave your thoughts in the comments down below. One Pride Go Lions. How are you feeling about the injuries? Do you think guys like Pat O'Connor, Muhammad can step up in the replace of Wingo and all them guys? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. One Pride Go Lions.